Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Testbook Regulatory Bodies YouTube channel. My name is Madhav Sir. I welcome you all in the next session, which we call it as Finance Current Affairs. So today we will be covering the Finance Current Affairs for 27th to 29th of September. And trust me, guys, the news which we are going to cover today are really very important, and you need to go through with these news at least twice or thrice so that you can memorize them, you can retain them for your upcoming examination. If you haven't shared the link of this session with your friends yet, I would request you quickly copy the link of this session, share it with your friends so that more and more students, they can join us live. And trust me, guys, today, two news out of six, I guess, two news which we are going to discuss out of six, they have a great potential that they can be asked in the upcoming examination. So be with me till the end of this session, and today's session is going to be really very important. Okay? Just share the link if you haven't shared it yet. I was just doing the same. If you haven't shared the link, I'm giving you a few seconds. Quickly copy the link of this session, share it with your friends so that we can start. So if you want to download the PDF of this particular session, that will be available on my Telegram channel, and the handle is @Madhav Sir, and the name of the Telegram channel is Economics by Madhav Sir. So you will find the PDF of all my YouTube sessions on the same channel itself, and all the pending PDFs have been shared. Please check and then come back with the comment. Just wish for you. May and June PDF has been shared. Annual report PDF has been shared. Gaurav, please एक बार आप चेक कर लीजिएगा. अगर ना मिले तो दोबारा बताइएगा, बट मेरे हिसाब से मैंने दोनों पीडीएफ्स को अभी कुछ ही समय पहले अपलोड किए. ठीक है जी, एक बार आप मुझे चेक करके जरूर बता दीजिएगा. स्टिल इफ इट इज लेफ्ट, आई विल बी डूइंग इट अगेन. ठीक है, चलो. Descriptive classes, which descriptive classes, Anchal? Descriptive classes will start after phase 2, and the descriptive session which was going on earlier on the app, that will be still there Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 p.m. So if you want to connect with me on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m, I will be available on Testbook application. Remember that. Okay, ji? Chalo, let's get started with the first news of the evening, and the first news is really very important. This news is basically related to the operations which we talk about, SLR maintenance, as well as we talk about the non-SLR investment which can be done by the bank. So we will be starting our today's discussion from a very important news, and it's a RBI direction which has been presented recently. I hope you are ready, guys. If I ask you what is SLR, I hope you all are very well aware. SLR stands for statutory liquidity ratio. It means certain percentage of NDTL is ought to be maintained by every bank in the form of cash, gold, or government securities, and that reserves are maintained with the bank itself. We call it as statutory liquidity ratio. Now, these statutory liquidity ratio, this is something which is a condition on the bank, and bank has to maintain these reserves, and obviously bank will maintain majority part of the SLR in the form of government securities only. Why? Because cash as well as gold. If I talk about cash, it is you are keeping your funds idle where you are not earning any return, and in case of gold, it's a risk. It's a risky fare. Its price may increase or may decrease, but government security is a good I would say thought of investment, because you will be witnessing or you will be earning the return on the government securities. Ab is context mein we have a news. Let's try to talk about this particular news. Please pay attention. RBI has come up with the direction related to investment by state cooperative bank as well as central cooperative bank in SSE. The term is SSE, set by NABARD. So we will be talking what is SSE. We will be talking what is the limit set by NABARD. But before I move ahead, let's first talk about the background of the story. The background of the story says the state cooperative bank, which is the apex level cooperative bank in each state that regulate and fund the network of district and primary cooperative societies is basically termed as state cooperative bank. See, whenever we talk about cooperative banks, if a cooperative bank which is possessing its branch in the capital of the city and it is responsible to manage or regulate, or I would say manage the fund network of the cooperative bank branches which are in the district, which we call them as district cooperative bank, or the branches which are, we call them as primary cooperative society. So this is how the structure works. This is how the structure works. So the state cooperative bank is basically the apex level cooperative bank in each state that regulates and fund the network of district as well as primary cooperative societies which are operating in the same state. Secondly, central cooperative bank or district cooperative bank operate at the district level, serving as the intermediary between state cooperative bank and primary agriculture credit society. So as I said, these district cooperative bank or central cooperative banks, they act as a mediator between primary cooperative societies as well as the state cooperative banks. So today we have a information related to these two banks. Investment by the cooperative banks are as per the regulation. Cooperative banks are required to maintain SLR. So obviously, as we know that all the scheduled banks of the country, they are required to maintain the statutory liquidity ratio, and similar is the condition for the cooperative banks as well. But if we go beyond this, what we have, they are also permitted to invest in certain non-SLR instruments like bonds, debentures, or share of financial institutions subject to prudential norms. It means if we have a cooperative bank, they are allowed to maintain SLR, but if they want to go beyond SLR and if they want to go beyond SLR and make the investment, that is also allowed, and we call that as non-SLR investment. What we call it? So we call it as non-SLR investment. We call it as non-SLR investment. Remember that RBI regulate these investments tightly to prevent excessive risk taking. अब RBI क्या कहता है कि सर ये जो cooperative banks हैं, they are already not doing pretty well, and RBI manages or look after these activities of investment very carefully. कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि आपने investment जहाँ किया उससे आपके ऊपर as a organization, as a bank, आपके ऊपर जो risk है that increase, और अगर आपके ऊपर ये risk increase हो जाता है, that will lead to even the failure of the bank and which will impact the hard-earned money of the public, and obviously the RBI is responsible for the regulation and safeguarding the banks. For that particular purpose, this direction has been introduced. तो क्या सर ये direction पहली बार introduce हुई है? नहीं सर, ऐसा नहीं है. The direction related to the same, that is related to the non-SLR investment, was introduced back in 2016. So it was introduced in July 2016, which covered permissible non-SLR instruments. That means it has very clearly given in 2016 only that which all instruments are allowed for non-SLR investment. Prudential limits on the total non-SLR investment. Prudential limit means what will be the limit? Typically the limit was capped at 10% of the bank's total deposit, and there was instructions on the investment in unlisted securities as well. तो इन तीनों चीजों पे ऑलरेडी 2016 में जो नॉर्म आई थी उस पे बात हो चुकी थी. अब क्वेश्चन ये आया कि सर जब इन पे ऑलरेडी बात हो चुकी थी तो अब ये नए नॉर्म्स का मतलब क्या है? सर द नए नॉर्म्स हैव बीन इंट्रोड्यूस्ड, और व्हाट वाज द नीड फॉर द अमेंडमेंट? सर इन April 2025 RBI has given approval to NABARD's proposal to set up shared service entity for state cooperative banks as well as central cooperative banks. Now the question is, so what do you understand by this word shared service entity? Have you heard about this term earlier, guys? क्या आप में से किसी ने इसके बारे में पहले सुना है, पहले पढ़ा है? If yes, give me Y in the comment section. If no, then just give me N so that I can give you the correct answer. सुना आपने इसके बारे में? This was launched, or I would say the approval was given by RBI to NABARD on the same grounds in July month itself. तो क्या है मैं आपको in April month itself, ये क्या है मैं आपको बताता हूँ. The moment we talk about shared service entity, how I start? I would say cooperative banks, they play a very important role in the rural credit delivery, but most of them, they face challenges. What are the challenges faced by the cooperative banks? First one, technology adoption, cyber security resilience, data management and regulatory compliance, as well as payment integration. So many of these banks, they are very small in size, as well as they are geographically scattered, and obviously the resource constraint is always there with the cooperative banks, which make it difficult for them to individually invest in these advanced IT infrastructure or digital transformation. So to address this particular problem, NABARD came into the picture, and NABARD introduced a concept of shared service entity. What is the purpose? So the shared service entity will act as a centralized umbrella organization that will provide common services and platforms to all the member state cooperative banks as well as central cooperative banks, which will lead to efficiency gains. It will result in standardization and it will help in scalability of the same platform. So what will be the function? Sir, SSE will provide infrastructure, IT infrastructure, for example, CBS, cloud-based services, data centers, and whatnot. Second is data management and analytics will be provided by the same. Payment system integration, it will be a centralized integration with UPI, NEFT, RTGS, IMPS, RuPay, Aadhaar enabled payment system, and whatnot. Then we have the regulatory compliance support, cyber security and risk management, digital transformation services, and whatnot. So SSE would typically be a separate legal entity. It will be a separate legal entity which will be promoted by NABARD, or by the custodian of state cooperative banks. Either it will be promoted by NABARD or it will be done by custodian of state cooperative banks. So ownership may be shared among the state cooperative banks as well as the central cooperative banks, which will ensure representation and accountability. So the governance will include the board of directors with representation from member banks, regulators, as well as the technical experts. Got it, guys? So what is SSE? Is this point clear? Just give me yes, sir. So SSE will be a centralized entity providing shared IT, data management, payment system, compliance support, cyber security and digital transformation services to the cooperative banks. Since investment in SSE, which is a new institution, fall under the non-SLR securities, RBI has amended the rules to explicitly allow स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स एज वेल एज सेंट्रल कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स टू इन्वेस्ट. तो इसमें क्या हुआ कि सर अब जो कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स हैं, स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स, सेंट्रल कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स, दे डोंट हैव द रिसोर्सेज कि वो अपना एक सीबीएस बना सके, अपना एक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बना सके. सो व्हाट इज डन सर, एक बेसिकली एक अम्ब्रेला ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, दैट इज एसएसई, एंड दिस एसएसई is promoted by a state cooperative bank which will provide all these services to multiple banks simultaneously. लेकिन अब इस SSE को बनाने के लिए we need funds, and if the funds are given by the state cooperative banks, that will be the part of non-SLR investment, and that is the reason there was a need of amendment. There was a need for amendment in 2025. अगर मैं legal basis की बात करूं, these amendments are issued under section 35A of Banking Regulation Act 1949. Modifications include new permissible instruments. So they have added a new instrument. That means state cooperative banks as well as central cooperative bank can invest in the shared capital of shared services entity which is set up by NABARD. Investment limit in SSE share capital is capped at 5% of the bank's owned fund. Bank's owned fund का मतलब that is paid up share capital plus reserve. So when we talk about bank's owned funds, you can invest up to 5% of your bank owned funds into SSE, but there are certain exemptions. Such investment will not count towards the overall prudential limit on the non-SLR investment. अगर आपकी non-SLR investment की जो भी limit है, these investments will not be the part of it. It will not be included under that. It will not impact your non-SLR investment limits. Exemption from the restrictions on investment in unlisted securities, that will also not be included. So immediate effect, directions apply from September 26, 2025, the date of issuance. For the state cooperative bank, it provides a legal risk control avenue to pool resources as well as strengthen IT backbone. Exemptions from non-SLR limits ensure that investment in SSE does not crowd out their ability to invest in other instruments. अब मान लो SLR के अलावा you have a limit for non-SLR investment. As I said, this is generally 10%. So you have a 10% of limit, that is 10% of your deposit can be invested in the non-SLR format. Now, it's not, SSE is the part of non-SLR, but it is not included or it is not going to impact this limit. For SSE, the limit is fixed, that is 5%, up to 5% of the bank's net owned fund. 5% of the bank's net owned fund. So ownership in SSE create long-term alignment with the digital modernization. For NABARD, it enhances its role as Apex Development Finance Institution for rural and cooperative credit. By anchoring SSE, NABARD provides cooperatives with shared infrastructure, ensuring cost efficiency, uniform compliance, and with regulatory requirements. For the cooperative banking sector, how the circular is going to be implicated? SSE can help address the current weakness in the cooperative banks, that is poor IT adoption, cybersecurity risk, and compliance lapses. So shared services means economies of scale and faster modernization. ये वो अब बात हुई कि पैसा भी कम लगा और मजे भी सब मिल गए. अब अगर मैं कहूँ कि आपको पूरे का पूरा अपना इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाना था तो उसके लिए आपको 100 करोड़ रुपए इन्वेस्ट करने हैं. अब आपको यही 100 करोड़ का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर मिला, लेकिन आपने इन्वेस्ट 10 करोड़ ही किया क्योंकि बाकी 10 करोड़ किसी और ने कर दिया. ऐसे करते करते एक शेयर्ड वॉल्यूम में, शेयर्ड नंबर में इन्वेस्टमेंट हुआ और उससे जो ये वैल्यू इकट्ठी हुई, उससे ये जो पैसा आपने इकट्ठा किया, दैट फंड कैन बी यूटिलाइज्ड. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गई बात, समझ आ गया ये पॉइंट? इफ इट इज क्लियर जस्ट गिव मी यस. Reduces dependency of each small bank on costly standalone IT solutions. So this is very important. So it will reduces the dependency. It will reduces the dependency of each small bank on costly standalone IT solutions. अगर मैं recent flow की बात करूं तो 2020 में एक amendment हुई थी in the Banking Regulation Act which extended RBI supervisory powers to the cooperative banks. फिर आया 2021 फॉर्मेशन ऑफ मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉर्पोरेशन, 2023-24 दैट इज कंप्यूटराइजेशन ऑफ प्राइमरी एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट सोसाइटी. 2024 में एक और आया आरबीआई रिवाइज एग्रीगेट WMA लिमिट्स फॉर स्टेट्स एंड यूनियन टेरिटरीज अपवर्ड, improving the liquidity flexibility for cooperative and state governments. So these are the initiatives which have been taken in the past, and now we have one more initiative where SSE has been introduced, and it will be set up by NABARD or by the state cooperative banks, and up to 5% of the net owned fund can be invested by a state cooperative bank or central cooperative bank into this SSE. Digital push in banking, RBI has been emphasizing shared infrastructure, and SSE is the another example. So it fits into the digital public infrastructure framework India is globally promoting. Why it is important? Shows RBI regulatory flexibility to enable NABARD's SSE. It strengthens the digital and governance architecture. Key numbers include limit 5% of net owned funds, revised the limits under 2016 directions. It is the part of digital transformation of cooperatives, and it enhances the financial stability by pooling resources and modernizing weaker institutions. समझ आ गई कहानी? Easy है, कोई मुश्किल नहीं है. मैंने कंपैरिजन दे दिया 2016 में कहानी कैसी थी और अब 2025 में what are the changes. So you can just read it once. कोई डाउट होगा you can ask me in the next session. ठीक है जी, क्लियर हो गया? Is it clear? तो मैं आपको बता दूं कि जो आपके कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स हैं, cooperative banks, they are allowed to invest up to 10% of their deposits in the non-SLR investments. Now they are allowed to invest in SSE as well under the non-SLR investment only, but that is not going to impact their overall limit. They will have a separate limit for SSE beyond this 10% of total deposit, which will be 5% of their net owned fund. बस इतनी ही कहानी. क्वेश्चन देखते हैं. State cooperative bank and central cooperative bank can invest in the share capital of SSE only if it is listed on the stock exchange. नहीं सर, ऐसी कोई बात तो हुई नहीं. स्टॉक एक्सचेंज पे लिस्टेड होगा तभी इन्वेस्टमेंट होगी, ऐसी तो कोई बात नहीं है ना. मैंने कोई ऐसी बात डिस्कस की. सो दैट इज नॉट द केस. इन्वेस्टमेंट इन SSE by these restricted 5% of its net owned fund, that is absolutely correct. Investment in SSE do not count towards the prudential norms on the non-SLR investment. बिल्कुल सही, ये अलग से है, part of non-SLR है, but it is not impacting the limit. Investment in SSE are exempted from restrictions on unlisted non-SLR instruments. That is true. The direction came into effect from 26th of September 2025. That is also correct. So answer क्या बन जाएगा सर? 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means Shraddha is absolutely correct. AK, Saloni, Niharika are correct. So answer is going to be C option. That is 2, 3, 4, 5. एक और क्वेश्चन है, इसको मैंने थोड़ा नए डायरेक्शन में परफॉर्म किया, फ्रेम किया. लेट्स सी आपको मजा आएगा या नहीं. A central cooperative bank has paid up capital and reserve, that is net owned fund, of 200 crores. Existing non-SLR investment is 150 crores. CCB plans to invest SSE set up by NABARD. Consider the following statement. Maximum permissible investment in SSE is 5% of net owned fund. 5% of net owned fund means 5% of 200 crores, and 5% of 200 crores is 10 crores. That is absolutely correct. कोई गलती नहीं है. SSE investment will be counted within the existing non-SLR limits of the bank. No sir, it is beyond that. SSE investment is exempted from the prudential limits on non-SLR investment. Absolutely correct. Investment is restricted to 5% of owned funds of the central cooperative banks. Correct. If the central cooperative bank invests 12 crores in SSE, it floats the 5% cap. अगर उन्होंने इन्वेस्ट किया 12 करोड़ तो इसका मतलब इट वायलेट्स द 5% कैप. दैट इज ट्रू, क्योंकि 5% कैप के हिसाब से आपकी जो लिमिट बनती है दैट इज 10 करोड़. सो आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी बी ऑप्शन 1, 3, 4, 5. मजा आया, मजा आया. थोड़ा सा नए तरीके से बना दिया क्वेश्चन, और कुछ नहीं, ताकि थोड़ा आपको इंटरेस्ट लगे और आप क्वेश्चन का जो इंपॉर्टेंट एरिया है वो आप याद रख पाए. ठीक है जी. मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट न्यूज. नेक्स्ट न्यूज इज वेरी इजी येट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Poonam Gupta ji ke baad we have the new deputy governor, and the new deputy governor is, the name is SC Murmu. The name is SC Murmu. So let's talk about him. Violation of cap हो गया ना यार. 5% का 5% की लिमिट है. 5% ऑफ नेट ओन फंड. नेट ओन फंड ऊपर दिया तो है 200 करोड़. 200 करोड़ दिया तो कितना बना? 10 करोड़. आपने इन्वेस्ट कर दिया कितना? 12 करोड़. तो ऑब्वियसली यू हैव वायलेटेड इट. आई होप इट इज क्लियर गौरव. Moving on to the next news. So on the 29th of September, यानी कि कल या आज कल, the appointment committee of the cabinet approved the appointment of SC Murmu as the deputy governor of RBI. He's already working in RBI as an executive director. So his 3-year term will begin from 9th of October 2025, immediately after the retirement of the ongoing deputy governor. So he will be replacing M. Rajeshwar Rao on 8th of October 2025. He will be completing his tenure, and on 9th of October, SC Murmu will take the position as deputy governor of RBI for next 3 years. The appointment is obviously, it's crucial because the deputy governor of RBI plays a really very important role in shaping the monetary policy, supervising the banking sector, and ensuring the financial stability of the country. तो आपको याद क्या रखना है? Appointment of the deputy governor, name SC Murmu, 9th October, 3 years, replaced M. Rajeshwar Rao, and the appointment is done by none other than Appointments Committee of the Cabinet, who is headed by the Prime Minister of India. Gaurav, at least reply. अगर समझ आ गया तो have a courtesy to reply. Give me yes sir. मैं तब से देख रहा हूँ स्क्रीन पर कि आप रिप्लाई करेंगे, but I guess we don't have time to do that. Just give me yes sir, ताकि I can concentrate on the news itself. थोड़ी सी बातें ऐड करना चाह रहा हूं, वो देखना जरा. रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया इज मैनेज्ड बाय गवर्नर एज वेल एज 4 डिप्टी गवर्नर्स. ईच डिप्टी गवर्नर ओवरसीज स्पेसिफिक डिपार्टमेंट सच एज मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी, सुपरविजन, बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन और फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन. सो SC Murmu appointment ensures continuity of the leadership. He takes over from M. Rajeshwar Rao, who handled banking regulation and supervision portfolio. और SC Murmu को अगर मैं ऐड कर लूं, then we have 4 deputy governors: SC Murmu, T. Ravi Shankar, S. Janki Raman, that is Swaminathan Janki Raman, and then we have Poonam Gupta. ठीक है. अगर हम पुरानी बातें करें तो शायद ये मुर्मू टर्म आपके दिमाग में होगा. तो पहली बात तो ये सर, SC Murmu is currently serving as the executive director of RBI. He oversees the Department of Supervision, which monitors the banks and NBFCs. Previous prominent position, he has served as the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. So he was appointed as the Comptroller and Auditor General of India on 8th of August and served until 20th of November 2024 as CAG. He represented international auditing bodies and worked on the transparency in the public finances. So this is very important. Dates as well as position. Lieutenant Governor of J&K. He has served as the Lieutenant Governor of J&K. First Lieutenant Governor of J&K after Article 370 was abrogated and J&K was treated as a union territory or given the title of union territory. So rather than governor, Lieutenant Governor is appointed always, and the name is SC Murmu. So remember these two prominent positions, they are important. Rest you can ignore. Rest is not important. I have a question for you. The statement says the appointment committee of the cabinet approved SC Murmu appointment on 29th of September. True, Murmu has been appointed as the RBI Deputy Governor and will be taking up the position from 9th of October 2025. That is true. He will succeed M. Rajeshwar Rao. That is true. Murmu has been appointed for the tenure of 5 years. No, sir, he has been appointed for the tenure of 3 years. But yes, as per RBI Act 1934, there is a power that the appointment can be done up to 5 years. Immediately before the appointment, he was serving as the Executive Director overseeing the Department of Supervision. That is correct. So answer is going to be B option. 1, 2, 3, 5 are correct options as given on the screen. Okay? No, obviously not. Obviously not. Moving on to the next question. So he has served as the Comptroller and Auditor General of India from 8th of August 2020 to November 2024. That is true. He has served as the Governor of J&K in 2019. True. The RBI headquarters is located in Mumbai. With Murmu's appointment, we will have 5, no sir, 4 Deputy Governors only. Sanjay Malhotra is the current Governor of RBI. That is correct. So 1, 2, 5, that is A option is the correct answer. ठीक है जी. तो ये वाला पॉइंट और ये वाला पॉइंट काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है. ये एग्जामिनर भी आपसे एग्जामिनेशन में पूछ सकता है. और अगर आपसे एक और क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है, SC मुर्मू, यहां पर आपसे एक और क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है कि SC मुर्मू हैज, as you say that's SC मुर्मू हैज served as the CAG of India. He was 13th, 14th, 15th CAG of India. Any idea, guys? Any idea? नो आइडिया. ठीक है. अच्छा, अब मुझे आप ये बताओ, क्या आपने ये नाम सुना है? मैंने पूरी न्यूज करा दी लेकिन आप में से कोई बोला ही नहीं. हैव यू हर्ड दिस नेम? GC मुर्मू, गिरीश चंद्र मुर्मू. हैव यू हर्ड दिस नेम? एनी आइडिया गाइस? सेम नेम. ओके. तो क्या ये जो पूरा मैंने अभी तक आपको स्टोरी सुनाई है, इज इट रिलेटेड टू शिरीष चंद्र मुर्मू और गिरीश चंद्र मुर्मू, या ये दोनों सेम है? एनी आइडिया? बताओ भाई. मैं तो कब से वेट कर रहा हूं कि आप लोग मुझे इस बात पे बोलोगे कि सर दिस इज नॉट करेक्ट, सर आप कुछ गलत पढ़ा रहे हैं शायद. आप खुद सोचो यार, कैग ऑफ इंडिया इज अपॉइंटेड एज डिप्टी गवर्नर ऑफ RBI. इज इट पॉसिबल? अगर नेम डिफरेंट है तो पर्सन भी डिफरेंट है. ठीक है, अगर पर्सन डिफरेंट है तो ये जो अभी हमने इतनी सारी इंफॉर्मेशन पढ़ी, इज इट related to GC Murmu or it is related to SC Murmu? Any idea? If you were thinking, then you must have asked me. If you were thinking, then you must have asked me. I was very shocked. यार आप कभी तो बोलोगे कि सर क्या कर रहे हो, गलत पढ़ा रहे हो, देख तो लो, सोच तो लो। बट मैं देख रहा हूँ कि जब से एग्जामिनेशन आया अब आपको सिर्फ और सिर्फ पीडीएफ में इंटरेस्ट हो गया है। आपको ये है कि बस पीडीएफ दे दो, हम खुद ही कर लेंगे सब, ये हो जाएगा वो हो जाएगा। दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल गाइज, दैट इज नॉट एट ऑल पॉसिबल। न्यूज इज करेक्ट, SC Murmu is correct, agreed. तो क्या SC Murmu has served as the CAG of India from 2020 to 2024? Is that point correct? एक बार आप चेक करके आना, ठीक है। आई एम लिविंग अ पॉइंट ऑफ डाउट ओवर हेयर, आई एम लिविंग अ पॉइंट ऑफ डाउट ओवर हेयर। एक बार आप चेक करके आइएगा तो उसके हिसाब से न्यूज़ पूरी की पूरी रिव्यू होगी, क्योंकि ये जो पॉइंट्स मैंने आपको दो दिए हैं, इज इट रिलेटेड टू GC मुर्मू, ठीक है, और SC मुर्मू, और या फिर ये दोनों एक ही हैं या डिफरेंट है। और अगर ये डिफरेंट है तो इनका आपस में कोई रिलेशन भी है, इनका आपस में कोई रिलेशन भी है, ये भी मुझे बताइएगा, ठीक है। तो अभी के लिए व्हाट आई एम होल्डिंग ट्रू इज दिस स्लाइड इज ट्रू, दिस स्लाइड इज ट्रू, दिस स्लाइड इज ट्रू, नथिंग मोर देन दैट, ठीक है। तो अब आपको ये सब खुद को प्रूव करके देना है मुझे कि वेदर इट इज करेक्ट और नॉट, एंड आई विल बी वेटिंग फॉर योर answers in the next class or maybe in the comment section. Let me see how many of you will come up with the correct answers. I'll be waiting for that. ठीक है, मैं एक बार इसको रिमूव कर रहा हूं, आप एक बार चेक कीजिएगा, लेट मी नो इन द कमेंट सेक्शन। डन, चलें आगे। दिस क्वेश्चन इज एप्ट, इसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, अगला क्वेश्चन मैंने हटा दिया, ठीक है। चेक करना ना, चेक करना इनका आपस में क्या रिलेशन है, ये भी चेक करना। अगर आप दोनों की इमेज देखोगे तो आपको और भी समझ आएगा, और भी चीजें मजा आएंगी, ठीक है। चल आगे बढ़ते हैं अगली न्यूज की, और अगली न्यूज काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है। द नेक्स्ट न्यूज टॉक्स अबाउट वर्ल्ड ट्रेड रिपोर्ट। आई होप वी ऑल नो वर्ल्ड ट्रेड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। सो रिसेंटली द वर्ल्ड ट्रेड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैज प्रेजेंटेड द वर्ल्ड ट्रेड रिपोर्ट 2025 titled Making Trade and AI Work Together to the Benefit of All. This is very important. Making trade and AI work together to the benefit of all. So the report finds that under the current scenarios, AI could raise global trade by roughly 34 to 37% and global GDP by 12 to 13% by 2040. तो ये क्या कह रहा है? ये कह रहा है कि सर अगर हमने AI को इन राइट डायरेक्शन, इन एप्ट मोड में यूज किया, it will result in increase in trade. It will boost the global trade by 34 to 37% by 2040, and it will result in increase in global GDP by 12 to 13% again by 2040. अब ये जो दो पॉइंट्स मैंने आपके सामने लिख दिए, this is something which is going to be asked. This is something which is going to be asked in the form of objective question. लेकिन आगे की जो मैं डिस्कशन आपके साथ करूंगा, that is going to give you more analytical viewpoint. So please pay attention. So what the report covers, the focus is how AI affects production, trade cost, service trade, global income distribution, and which trade and domestic policies will determine whether AI gains are widely shared or concentrated. ठीक है जी, तो ये फोकस पार्ट है। मेथड क्या है सर? मेथड बड़ा सिंपल है, कॉम्बिनेशन है एम्पेरिकल एविडेंस का, सर्वेज है, पेटेंट्स है और ट्रेड डेटास है, उसके साथ साथ केस स्टडीज है, मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक सिमुलेशन प्रोजेक्टिंग मल्टीपल एडॉप्शन और पॉलिसी सिनेरियोज है, जिसके बेसिस पे यू हैव come to this particular result. You have come to this particular result. Now, if I talk about the key findings, सबसे पहला, जैसे कि मैंने आपको पहले भी बताया, trade boost. AI could raise the global trade and service, global trade including goods and services by 34 to 37%, GDP by 12 to 13%. AI enabled goods trade. The value of global trade in AI enabling goods, semiconductors, sensors, specialized components and related intermediaries was estimated around $2.3 trillion in 2023. So ये पॉइंट भी इंपॉर्टेंट है कि सर इतना ही नहीं कि AI की वजह से ट्रेड बढ़ेगा, लेकिन AI अगर ट्रेड बूस्ट करेगा, जीडीपी बढ़ाएगा, तो AI की डिमांड बढ़ेगी। डिमांड बढ़ने के लिए उसे इंप्लीमेंट करना पड़ेगा। इंप्लीमेंट करने के लिए जो AI इनेबलिंग गुड्स है, उनकी ट्रेड, उनकी डिमांड, उनकी circulation भी बढ़ेगा, and it was $2.3 trillion alone in 2023. Firm level benefits, nearly 9 out of 10 firms using AI, they report trade related benefits. 56% improved trade risk management as well. 56% they have improved the trade related benefits as well. Now if I talk about the productivity channel, AI is estimated to raise annual total factor productivity. AI is estimated to raise annual total factor productivity growth by about 0.68% points in the report's central calculations. As it says, AI patents or trademarks, a 10% rise in the digital service trade is associated with roughly a 2.6% increase in the AI patent citation. So AI patent has increased by 2.6%, which has resulted in 10% rise in the digital service trade, which is associated. ठीक? Now, distributional scenarios. Who is going to gain? Who is going to lose? WTO stimulates multiple scenarios. It says that benchmark digital divide persists. High income economies see larger gains, around 14%. Middle income 11%, and low income will witness a gain of 8%, which will result in further widening the gap between the high income, low income and middle income countries. Second is improved digital infrastructure. Improved digital infrastructure in low income economies. If the low income countries, they catch up on connectivity, gains compress much more inclusive. So what does it say? It says that if the low income countries, they catch up on connectivity, then their gains will compress. 12% for high income or middle income and 11% for the low income economies, which will be more inclusive. Broad adoption plus improved infrastructure. When low income countries and middle income economies, they both improve infrastructure and adopt AI widely, low income economies could see 15% GDP gain and middle income countries could see 14% GDP gain, जिसमें अभी भी अगर हम कहें तो एक हद तक वो गैप एज इट इज है, और इट मे क्लोज डाउन अ बिट. ठीक है जी. तो टेक अवे क्या है? टेक्नोलॉजी अलोन इज इनसफिशिएंट. इन्वेस्टमेंट इन डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, स्किल, पावर, adoption friendly policies, they all determine collectively whether AI will widen or it will result in narrow inequality, or it will result in narrowing the inequality. Now, risk and market structure concerns. पहला risk है widening digital divide, जो मैंने अभी आपको समझाया. Then we have concentration via subsidies. So global subsidies, they aimed at AI related R&D and production have grown sharply since 2010 and are highly concentrated to the high income as well as middle income economies, increasing the risk of capability and concentration. Then we have trade restriction rising. The report documents an increase in quantitative restrictions on AI related goods. Some bound tariffs on critical inputs remain very high, which means from 130 in 2012 to nearly 500 in 2024 and up to 45% in the low income economies, which is hampering the access. And if I talk about the access to AI enabling inputs, patents and standards, they can become choke points कि भैया मैंने एक innovation किया, मैंने उसको अपने नाम पे standardize करा लिया, patent करा लिया, now it won't be allowed to you won't be allowed to use the same skill set. ठीक, अगर मैं कहूं तो ये जो मैं आपके साथ डिस्कशन कर रहा हूं, इट इज बेसिकली एन आंसर टू द क्वेश्चन हाउ एआई is going to impact the global trade, or what will be the impact of AI on global economy. In both the aspects you can use this, in both the aspects you can use this information and the understanding, the conceptual understanding which I'm providing you. So the World Trade Report 2025 is not, it points to concentrate policy areas where action matters. So what kind of action matters? They says trade policy openness for AI inputs, targeted public investment, skill and reskilling, competition and subsidy discipline, as well as rules for cross-border data flows and standards. अगर आप इन policies को overcome कर लेते हैं, इन policies को improve कर लेते हैं, then there will be a good scenario, there will be a good results for the AI penetration in the world, which will result in concentration, which will result in contraction of the inequality gaps which are still prevailing. Inequality gaps which are still prevailing. ठीक है जी. अब इसमें क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग के कॉन्टेक्स्ट से दो चीजें मैं लेकर आया हूं. पहला, क्रिटिकल रिफ्लेक्शन में ऑप्टिमिज्म और रियलिज्म. द हेडलाइन 40% मोर ट्रेड बाय 4040 by 2040 under inclusive scenarios, but without deliberate investment and policy cooperation, it is impossible. It is impossible. So turning AI into growth amplifier for some and an exclusionary force for others is the issue. Trade is necessary but not sufficient. So reducing tariffs and restriction helps, but the biggest blockers for many countries are domestic. Blockers like digital infrastructure, powers or skills. So trade policy is only one piece which boosts the overall trade. It's not the entire piece of the global trade. Then we have governance and ethics. Rapid AI deployment without governance could produce social as well as political backlash. Then we have multilateral action, and multilateral action is credible but fragile. So WTO can convene norms and evidence, yet action, for example limiting export controls or subsidies, need political buy-in, a hard ask in fractured geopolitical landscape. आज के लैंडस्केप में इसे पूछना, इसे बोलना भी पाप माना जाएगा कि सर थोड़ी सी AI के लिए पैसा इंडिया को दे दो. कहेंगे नहीं, यूएस कहेगा नहीं, आप रशिया से ले लो ना, दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. सो दैट इज अ पॉइंट. तो ये सब एनालिसिस है. अगर आप फेज 1 की बात करेंगे तो फेज 1 में फर्स्ट स्लाइड, सेकेंड स्लाइड, बस ये पहली दो स्लाइड से क्वेश्चन आएंगे इन फेज 1, बट इन फेज 2 दीज आर गोइंग टू बी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगला क्वेश्चन देखते हैं. As per World Trade Report projects, global trade could increase by 34 to 37% by 2040. True. Global GDP projected to increase by 12 to 13% or 13 to 14%. So this is wrong. In 2023, trade in AI enabling goods such as semiconductor was around $2.3 trillion. That is correct. WTO analysis found that a 10% rise in digital service trade corresponds to 2.6% increase in AI patent. That is true. Nearly 90% of firms using AI, they report benefits in trade related activities, with 56% citing trade improved trade risk management. That is correct. So answer is going to be B option. 1, 3, 4, 5 are correct. मजा आया? एक क्वेश्चन और ले लो. Under the benchmark scenario, income gains are 14% for high income, 11% for middle income, and 8% for the low income economies. That is correct. अगर हम benchmark scenarios की बात करें, जो basic scenarios की बात करें, उस केस में this is going to be the benefit. That is correct. कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. With digital infrastructure improvement, अगर आप digital infrastructure को improve करते हैं, then the gains rise to 12% in the high income economies, 12% in the middle income economies, and 11% in the low income economies. Is this correct? So this is also correct. Under the improved infrastructure plus broad AI adoption, low income economies could achieve 15% GDP, whereas middle income will achieve 14% GDP growth. That is also correct. सही है. अगला पॉइंट है, global subsidies for AI related products have exceeded 15% since 2010, with over 98% coming from high income and upper middle income. That is correct. Last is quantitative restrictions on AI related goods have fallen from 500 in 2012 to 130 in 2024. नहीं, मैं आपको बताता हूँ किस पॉइंट पे बात कर रहे हैं. सर हम इस पॉइंट पे बात कर रहे हैं. ये देखो जरा, Trade restrictions, the report documented that there is an increase in quantitative restrictions, तो वो increase हुई है 130 से increase होकर 500 हुई है. So the fifth statement is wrong, except that all are correct. So answer is going to be which? Sir, answer is going to be C option. So C option is going to be the correct answer. समझ आया, मजा आया? एक बार yes sir टाइप कर दो. मैंने फिर भी आपको ये पूरा, this is final, something which you need to learn. This is final which you need to learn for phase 1 as well as phase 2. But what you need to understand that has been explained already. Learn आपको ये for sure करना for phase 1 as well as phase 2. मजा आ गया? क्लियर हो गया? Give me a thumbs up. आगे बढ़े अगले क्वेश्चन की. और अगला क्वेश्चन आसान भी है, मजेदार भी है, और यहाँ से एग्जामिनेशन में क्वेश्चन आने के चांसेस भी पूरे हैं. So what does it talks about? So it talks about launch of goods and services tax appellate tribunal. You must have heard about SAT, SEBI appellate tribunal. Yes or no? You must have heard about. You must have heard about DRAT, debt recovery appellate tribunal. So what is appellate tribunal? You have even heard about Supreme Court. So appellate tribunal or appellate authority is the highest authority. It is basically the highest authority, and the decision of this authority cannot be challenged. First thing. Second, if you have issue with, if you have problem with any of the government announcements, any of the decisions given by the lower authorities, you can challenge those decisions in front of the appellate authority. So now, in case of GST also, we will be having an appellate authority as per the latest announcement. GST mein, recently there was a change related to slabs, 5%, 18%. This is for which goods? And 18% is for which goods? So 18% is for standard goods, if you remember. Yes or no? And 5% is for merit goods. Remember that. And for sin goods, we have GST value of 40%, which include alcohol and all, whatever it is. Hai na? Now, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman inaugurated Goods and Service Tax Appellate Tribunal in New Delhi. Aim is basically to provide a dedicated forum for resolving GST related disputes in a fair, efficient and timely manner. Alongside this, the GSTAT electronic e-court portal was also launched to enable online filing, case tracking and virtual hearings. So this marks a major institutional reform in India's GST framework, major institutional reforms in the GST framework since it has been introduced in July 2017. In this case, you need to remember the history. GST was rolled out on 1st of July 2017 in entire country except J&K, where it was implemented from 7th of January onwards. Business faced frequent disputes over assessment, refunds and penalty. So problem before GSTT or GSTAT was the disputes were filed in High Court, which resulted in litigation delays due to non-specialized branches, high cost for the taxpayers and inconsistent judgment across the states. So in problems को resolve करने के लिए there has been recommendation on legal basis. So GST Council recommended a dedicated appellate forums under the section 109 of GST Act 2017 provides establishment of GSTAT. In 2023, Parliament amended CGST Act to pave the way for GSTAT's formal establishment. And finally, the principal bench will be located in New Delhi. State benches, we have 31 state benches across 45 locations in India, ensuring nationwide access. Composition will be 4 members, 2 judicial members, that is retired judges, 2 technical members, one is from central government, one is from state government. This structure ensured balanced judicial and technical approach. Functioning of GSTAT role as specialized appellate authority to hear appeals against the orders of first appellate authority under GST, provides uniformity and reduce caseload on the high courts. Limited period tribunal expected to start hearing cases from December 2025 onwards. To ease transition, we will have a staggered filing approach or staged filing approach adopted. Filing period for appeals extended till 30th June 2026. So if you want to appeal for any of the judgment, you can appeal by 30th of June 2026. E-court portal enables online appeal filing, case tracking as well as virtual hearings. Features will be plain language interface, simplified formats and checklists, as well as time standards for hearing and judgments. So designed basically to reduce litigation cost and ensure easy access to the justice. Okay, so your sessions are just great to watch, but there are nearly 15 days left. How to cover June and May month finance? If someone not covered through your daily videos, then just go with the revision video, Asta. I've already conducted a revision video on June and May. So I've covered 20 news in that. You can go with it, and very soon I will be covering rest of the 40 news as well for the June and May. So you can just go with that video and download that PDF. I have uploaded it. That's more than sufficient. Thank you for the feedback. Last but not the least is the Justice Sanjay Kumar Mishra is the president of GSTAT. Significance is uniformity in rulings, specialization, efficiency, accessibility, digital integration, and it will reduce the burden on high courts. Let's try to solve the question. The Goods and Service Tax Appellate Tribunal was inaugurated on September 24, 2025 in New Delhi. Is it correct? That is absolutely correct. Nothing wrong in that. Moving on to the next point. What does the next point say? GSTAT has been constituted under Section 109 of the CGST Act 2017. Is it correct? Yes, sir. Each GSTAT bench consists of 2 judicial and 2 technical members. Correct. GSTAT will functional only from its principal bench in Delhi. No, sir. Its presence will be there in the entire country with 31 benches in 45 locations. The limitation period for filing appeals has been extended till 30th of June 2026. That is correct. So answer to this particular question is going to be A option. Okay, thank you so much. Moving on to the next point. The last news, we have one more question. GSTAT is a specialized appellate authority designed to hear appeals against the orders of first appellate authority under GST. True. GSTAT electronic e-court portals enable online filing, case tracking, virtual hearings. True. We are expecting that they will begin the hearing from December 2025. That is true. The idea of GSTAT was first recommended by the GST Council and later enabled through a 2023 amendment to the CGT Act. Is this point correct, guys? Is this point correct? Yes, sir, that is correct. Justice Sanjay Kumar Mishra is the serving president of GSTAT. That is correct. So answer is going to be C option. I'm talking about the serving president of GSTAT. Remember that. Last news, RBI has renewed its statement of commitment to the Foreign Exchange Global Code. So what is it? Let's try to understand this point. अगर इसको technically देखें तो काफी ज़्यादा चीज़ें, but I will be giving you that much which is important for your examination point of view. So what is the news? Reserve Bank of India has announced that it has renewed its statement of commitment to Foreign Exchange Global Code. But the question over here is, so what do you understand by the word FX Global Code? So FX Global Code is non-binding voluntary code for foreign exchange market participants developed jointly by the central banks, market participants across the globe, and it was first published in 2017. What is the purpose? So the purpose is fairness, integrity, transparency in the $7 trillion per day global foreign exchange market. It will provide common guidelines across countries to reduce misconduct and market manipulation. It will encourage responsible trading behavior. If I talk about the governance, the Global Foreign Exchange Committee is responsible for promoting adoption of the code, reviewing and updating the code, maintaining the global credibility as well as uniformity. First code was published in 2017, then in July 2021. First major review was done in December 2024. Second update was done reflecting changes in technology, market structure and best practices. Thus, RBI renewal in 2025 reflects these latest changes. That means now RBI is aligning itself to the December 2024 updates. So what is the news? The news says Foreign Exchange Global Code is a set of principles of good practices designed to promote integrity, transparency and efficiency functioning in the wholesale foreign exchange market. अब जो rules and regulations वहाँ पे follow होंगे, that has been adopted by RBI as well. Simple. इससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है. So RBI renewed the commitment, reaffirms India's alignment with the global best practices in the foreign exchange trading and regulation. RBI's role and significance, what RBI did. So RBI signed the renewed statement of commitment, confirm its support for the principle of foreign exchange global code, which has been recently revised in 2024, encourages Indian market participants like banks, dealers, corporates to align their practices with the foreign exchange global code. Why it is important? It results in integrity, so it prevents misconduct like insider trading, collusion or प्राइस मैनिपुलेशन. ऐसा ना हो कि एक मार्केट में exchange rate is low, in the other market exchange rate is high because of the different practices. An individual is purchasing from one market and selling it to the another market. इन सारे issues को ignore करने के लिए this is good. Global trust, it aligns with the global standard, then obviously the global investors will trust the Indian market as well. India is a major emerging market player. This boosts the credibility of INR trading, encourages authorized dealers and banks in India to adopt these principles voluntarily. मतलब ये कोई rules and regulations नहीं है, RBI ने भी अपनी मर्जी से ही adopt किए, and RBI is asking the others, the authorities, to adopt them voluntarily. अगर मैं बात करूँ Global Foreign Exchange Committee, it was established back in 2017. Role is, as we said, global coordination for foreign exchange market practices. Membership include the central banks and the major private sector participants. Chair is rotating. Central bank leadership, Bank of England and other leading central banks, they hold the chair of this particular committee. We call it as Global Foreign Exchange Committee. Question देखो, the Foreign Exchange Global Code is a legally binding framework developed by IMF or something like that? No. It provides global principles of good practices to promote integrity and effective functioning of FX market. That is true. The code was first published in 2017. True. Global Foreign Exchange Committee is responsible for promotion, maintenance, and updating the codes. That is correct. RBI renewed the statement to the code. Sorry, the statement of commitment to the code in 2025. That is correct. So answer is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5. तो मेरे हिसाब से आंसर होना चाहिए B option. अगला क्वेश्चन देखो, the FX Global Code has been updated twice, July 2021, December 2024. Honestly याद नहीं है, एक बार देख लेते हैं. ऐसा क्वेश्चन पूछे जाने के बहुत कम चांसेस है, लेकिन अगर पूछा गया तो मेजॉरिटी स्टूडेंट छोड़कर आएंगे, लेकिन अगर आपने मेरी क्लास अटेंड की, यू विल बी इन अ पोजीशन टू आंसर इट. तो भैया 2 बार अमेंड हुआ इससे पहले, जुलाई में 2021 और दिसंबर 2024, since 2017. Code applies only to the emerging market and excludes the developed economies. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है सर. It is a uniform code which is valid on all. Next point is RBI's statement of commitment is voluntary, not mandatory. That is true. India's foreign exchange market has a daily average turnover of 60 to 70 billion dollars. That is true. मैं बता रहा हूँ, ये information ऐड कर रहा हूँ, याद रखना. ओवरऑल अगर हम मार्केट की बात करें तो ओवरऑल मार्केट का साइज कितना है? 7 ट्रिलियन पर डे ग्लोबल मार्केट का साइज है. और अगर हम बात करें adoption of the code is seen as a step towards internationalization of Indian rupees. Yes, अगर हम global practices को मान रहे हैं, then only there is a possibility that someone could purchase INR on the foreign exchange global market. Otherwise तो possible ही नहीं है. So it's a good initiative which has been taken by the government. So that will be all from my side, guys. We'll catch you in the next session. Don't forget to hit the like button before leaving. Do hit the like button. Do share your valuable suggestions, feedbacks in the comment section. I will be catching you all in the upcoming sessions to go. Bye-bye. Take care. Good luck. God bless you.